Hello, and welcome back to the Visible Entrepreneur podcast. I'm excited that you're here this week. I hope that you had a beautiful and blessed Thanksgiving if you were in the United States. If not, I hope that you have had as relaxing of a week as possible and that we can all just agree that we are blessed to be here right now. We're blessed to have the family and the friendships and the relationships that we do have. And now we are going into December. Can you believe it? The end of 2020. I know a lot of people are excited about that. And now we are winding down for the year. And this is where a lot of people just unplug from everything and just let everything go until January. And I get it if that is your instinct. But I did want to take time to chat a little bit about more in depth about my blog process, because I do think that, every single business, brand, entrepreneur, solopreneur needs to have a visibility vehicle that is a signature show of some sort to drive traffic to your website. And I have a lot of people that ask me, how do you do this with your blog, right? I've come up with a unique process, I think, that has really helped me predict how many email subscribers I'm getting every month, which translates into how many sales per month. And so I thought this would be a really good time to talk about this so that you could dig into the rest of your year and figure out how you want to start 2021 with your visibility plan. So I think this is going to be a really fun episode, and we are going to also be talking about how I drive traffic to that blog. And if you have not yet, I definitely recommend subscribing to this show or hopping over to the blog and being sure that you can read this through. Really, really important that you figure out who you trust in the online space, whether it's me or someone else, to teach you weekly, and that you do commit to following that. So if it's on the podcast, fantastic. Happy to have you here. Click subscribe. Otherwise, you can hop over to the blog or hop over to the YouTube channel. So in today's episode, let's chat a little bit about blogging, because there are a lot of entrepreneurs in the space who say that blogging is dead. It's not even close. And I, for one, definitely regret listening to that a couple years ago and not focusing on my blog earlier. Usually people that say that just don't want to take the time to do it and have just so happened to have enough success that they don't feel that they need to. So if you're anything like me and you have spent time spinning your wheels on different social media platforms, but not found the one thing that brings in predictable amounts of email subscribers every month, or if you've been running a blog for a while, but you've been feeling frustrated about the fact that you aren't getting the traffic you want, I think this will be a great episode. Before we go any further, if you have not taken my 90-day visibility sprint masterclass, I highly recommend doing that. You can go to visibilityvixen.com/90, the number 90 days. Okay, so let's dive in. The first thing that we want to get started with is your blogging process. Let's just firm this up. If you already have one, just double check it. If you don't, then this might bring you some clarity. You need to figure out how many posts you're going to be releasing every single month. And a lot of people say, well, I just don't have time. I'm just going to do one a month. Well, I would encourage you to do at least 2 a month, or ideally 4. The more that you publish, the more you're going to get traffic, the more you're going to get subscribers, the more you're going to get revenue, right? So we want to figure out, especially if you're going to be bleeding, what I like to call bleeding your blog into your social media accounts, which means taking pieces of your blog and posting them as organic social media posts, then you want to be blogging as much as you can. So in my case, that is weekly. If that's a little too much, you can start with bi-weekly, but I think it's important to figure out how often you're going to be publishing your content so that you can get in a healthy schedule. Especially in my case, I love to batch. So I actually usually spend the first week of the month going through writing, recording everything I need so that then the next 4 weeks are covered. This also gives me a little bit of time to not have to blog, to unplug from it, because I know that it can be a little bit much. And then during the time of the month where I feel like I can really sit down and hammer out 4 blogs, it's all done. So really important to figure out how many times you're going to blog monthly. The second part of it is, how are you going to make sure that every piece of the publishing process gets checked? This means sitting down and figuring out what those repeated tasks are going to be. The last thing you want to do is be sitting down in front of a Google Doc or let's say Kajabi and writing out your blog and not knowing every single part of the process. So your brain is trying to reinvent the wheel every time you go to write a blog. Not good, right? So I'm going to break this down a little bit for you so that you can see what this looks like. I've found that if you're doing 4 blogs a month, that for the time it takes to get them written is usually between 6 to 8 hours. That means sitting down, writing out the blog, looking through it, coming up with that really cute title and getting things organized for the next step, which for me is about an additional 2 hours of video recording where I record the episode just like I'm doing with you right now. So I like providing both. You don't have to, but it is something you can think about if you either want to provide a video episode or an audio episode at the top of your blog. So let's go over what the rough outline is of an entire blog process, okay? So here we go. If you're going to do one a week, let's say, it would be creating 4 exciting blog titles, coming up with 3 overview bullet points for each, and then writing out each blog. I like to plan this in advance so that when I do go to a coffee shop, I can just hammer out all the blogs in 1 or 2 sittings. Then going through it again for formatting and spell checking. Then inserting 2 calls to action in each blog. This is an opt-in, and then a straight to purchase. That's what I do for mine. Then creating the video or audio and inserting it into the top of the blog. Inputting SEO, graphics, and tags into each post, and then scheduling them for release. That's the rough outline of the process. That is not distribution, right? Because that's when we email it to our list, schedule it to our social media, etc. But this is just getting the blog done. It helps me to have this list so that I can remember everything and then sit down and hammer it out. And it's really, really helpful when you get to the point, maybe you're already at the point, where you can start outsourcing some of this process. You can bring on a VA and maybe you just write out the blog and do the video. And then like my VA does, she takes it, she goes in, does the SEO, does the tags and that kind of stuff. Then she schedules the newsletter for release the first of every week. Then she takes pieces of them, schedules them to social media, etc. So this is really easy because you've had everything all set up with your process to then outsource the pieces you can as you can. That way you can stay in creative mode and you're not going to burn out by the time you go to then do all the rest of the posting because you can have someone else do it. So I know that not all of you are going to be in that place yet, and that's totally fine, but just set yourself up for that success when you can afford to outsource part of the process. This has been really helpful for me and has been very successful for me actually getting that content out each and every week over the past year. So now that we've talked about the blog creation process, let's talk about driving traffic, because this can really easily become the most frustrating part. And what's important is you figuring out the platform you're going to be driving this traffic to each and every week. Because what I used to do is I would do the blog and then I'd post it to all the social media and then I'd sit there feeling really frustrated because nothing happened. And what I found is that my mistake was trying to get traffic to my website from a social media platform that's designed to keep you on it, like Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. They want you to stay on the platform, right? And so it can actually penalize you with the algorithm if you're putting in your blog links. So that's what was really frustrating. So then I started looking at SEO sites that were more designed to take traffic off of it, like Google, more of a search engine. And that's when I found Pinterest. And that really changed the game for me because here's a platform that's designed for you to share links to your content to encourage people to see it and take action. So Pinterest really changed the game for me. That's when I started seeing much more predictable traffic numbers to my website. And every week, scheduling pins that lead to those new blogs has brought in more and more website visitors. So that's when you start getting the predictable visitors and traffic, which translates into opt-ins, which translates into revenue. So that was a huge difference for me. And I definitely encourage you, if you'd like to check out my Pinterest. It's grown a lot in the last year and a half that I've been doing this, and it's just under Visibility Vixen. So check that out. See what you think. This might be just a game-changing platform for you. It certainly was for me. And the most important part of Pinterest is consistency. This is a platform you're going to have to dedicate some time to. You can automate some of it by getting a software like Tailwind, and I will put that link below if you want to try it out. And the most important thing is pin your content, but also repin other people's content. This is a great way to boost you in the feed, and especially if you take advantage of like Tailwind communities, you'll really start seeing your stats grow. So Pinterest is a long game. It's going to take you about 3 months to start seeing predictable results. But if you're consistent, if you do the work, I guarantee that you will. What's exciting for me now is that I'm getting notifications on my desktop every single day of people repinning my content, clicking to my site, opting in. It's a really wonderful thing. So if you've been feeling that frustration with your blog in terms of traffic, this might be what you've been waiting for. And you can definitely find a lot of research online. The other thing that you can do if you want to see how we've done that ourselves is to join the Visibility Lounge. That's my monthly membership. It's $45 a month. And I will walk you through not only the blog process, but also what we do with Pinterest organically and with ads, so you can see exactly how it's done step by step and not feel any confusion. You'll also get access to me via office hours every week, one-on-one hot seats, and a monthly group call. So if you are looking for that, you can just go to visibilityvixen.com and join the lounge. Otherwise, you can always reach out to me on any social media platform at Visibility Vixen. So I know that this was a lot of information to throw at you in terms of blogging, but if you've been blogging for a while and feeling frustrated, or if you're new to the process, I thought that this could give you some key wisdom from me being in the trenches and doing this over the past year and a half. And I think that finding a process that works is the most important thing. So if you've been feeling stuck, I hope that this has been helpful for you, because blogging efforts, as well as any visibility vehicle that we're focusing on, needs to translate to traffic, subscribers, and revenue. And that's definitely what it's done for me. So my assignment for you leaving this episode is to create your blogging task list and then get started publishing them and then pushing the pins to promote them to Pinterest. Keep me updated on your progress. Let me know your biggest takeaway below. I would love to hear what part of this episode stood out the most to you. So just know that you're not alone in this. I'm here to support you. Thanks for tuning in today. So excited to see you grow your blog and start monetizing more and more going into 2021. I'll see you in the next episode.